He's blowing up balloons.
Grant is cutting up in this virtual studio right now. We're gonna have to. This one could go off the rails so easily. Pot of Gold, welcome back. Let's open up the chat. See who's first in there. My boy Gerald, first in the chat. Congratulations.
started.
You got a star.
I started.
Nice.
I thought he just came up with a star.
I'm Brett. I'm here with Mike, Grant the intern, as always. Doing what interns do, farting before we go live and hitting bowl skis on the intro. That's what we do. Ole Miss week, but how about Alabama?
Yeah, dude, down goes number 13. I wanted to kill number 13. Is it Malachi Moore? I wanted to kill.
It made me so happy because it was so easy. Go ahead.
Before we dive into that, we've got some, what is it called? Housekeeping to do.
Housekeeping?
One, I guess I'm just vibing, but I forgot how heavy I went on the cymbals on that intro song like 8 years ago. I was pretty aggressive on the cymbals. Secondly, this is a gift from my sister from a flea market. Okay. Like a resale, whatever. She doesn't know. Okay.
I was gonna ask.
No, listen.
I figured it was in your closet or something.
Listen, the Toonses situation, she doesn't know. Okay. But out of respect as a gift, I'm wearing it.
I love that. No,
You know
I
what I'm saying?
absolutely love it.
I want people to understand.
I thought it was a nod to Kalen DeBoer getting roasted for rocking like the Walmart branded gear on the sidelines.
Right. No, it was a special gift. She was, I think she was in Seattle or something, going through a bunch of windbreakers, and she's like, "Oh, Michael would love this," and I do. I love it. But
it's great.
At the level of fandom, there's different tiers, and when you hit a tier where you're like, "Fucking Toonses," like you're into it, right? And so I just want to make sure our fans understand that. Secondly, rest in peace to Oscar. We lost one of our big soldiers a couple nights ago. Puppy of 10 years, friend of the podcast. He's been on many pods. Pods.
He's been
whether you knew him as Fitzgerald, Fritz, Oscar, the Admiral. Here's to you, buddy.
Shout out. I poured out way too much of my drink. So
we were supposed to record on Tuesday, and that's what was going on in my world. So we had to delay it a little bit. Apologies, but it's Ole Miss week, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm really excited. This is like, I think I texted in the group earlier this week that it weirdly feels like college football is slipping away from us already. Like, how are we in week 7? But at the same time, like, this is where it starts. Like, SEC plays here. Every week there's matchups. Like, this week is, the best week of college football ever, quote unquote, with all these matchups. Next week you have Texas, Georgia. It's just like every week moving forward, there's going to be at least a handful of games that have like significance throughout the college football season. So it's like, hell yeah, man, we're here. I'm excited.
But like, it's crazy to think about where we are in this week. Would you say it was week 5, 6, 7? Where are we at? 7.
We're in week 7.
Sorry, I've just been so diving into fantasy football. Like my weeks are all crazy. But we're week 7 here, and
with a week 0.
With a week 0, of course. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot's wrong with it, but there's nothing wrong with that. But we really don't know shit, man. Like I think at the end of the day, you look at the college landscape and we don't know shit. And I'm anticipating a college playoff situation where we're watching the selection show. We're just like, whoa, what? Where did they come from? Or, like if you look back at the beginning of the season, like these guys were fucking top 5 all year. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think what we're looking at right now in the AP is really going to resemble like what the playoff situation looks like. Like, it's gonna be one of those years where you can't really call it in mid-season and be like, yeah, man, they grind it all the way through. I get, like, right now you've got an undefeated with Texas and an undefeated with Ohio State that are kind of the top dogs, right? They're going to lose games. Like, it's bound to happen. I don't anticipate Texas running the table. I think Ohio State could lose this weekend against Oregon, right? But that doesn't mean Ohio State's not going to win the fucking national championship. Like, it's just one of those crazy years. And I think it's a good trial run for this new expanded playoff situation to have all of these teams losing. You're going to figure out pretty quickly in year one of this situation, like, are they going to get it right, or are they going to be like just flat out wrong because everyone's got the same record?
Yeah, it honestly does feel like college football has never been this wide open, and it is a perfect time to have this like 12-team playoff. It really does. Like, I was a hater on it, probably still will be in the long run, but if there was ever a year to just say we're just rolling out a bunch of matchups at the end of the year and let's see what happens, it feels like they picked the perfect year. I mean, you know, this weekend everyone thought it was going to be a terrible weekend, and everyone was on the ropes, and it just shows you that no one's safe. I mean, look, at some point we will actually talk about Alabama.
Bama lost to Vanderbilt. That's the point of this.
We live in a world where literally Alabama can walk in to Vanderbilt and not leave victorious. Like, that is insane. Get bullied, literally. Like, watching that game, I got frustrated at how much like Vanderbilt was able to open holes in the run game, because I know once we play Alabama, it's going to be like fight for every inch, and it's going to be one of those games
for sure.
But yeah, it's just, I mean, I don't know, man. College football's been really fun. I'm worried that this week is going to be a letdown, because everyone thought last week was pumpkin patch week where you didn't have to be glued to your TV all day. And this was the week you were setting up for. And I feel like the college football gods are going to slap us in the face a little bit with that. But
yeah, maybe. It's just there's so many good slates. But I mean, for us, for LSU fans, it doesn't get any better. And I think that's the exciting part.
It does make me sad that we didn't get a like late Eugene kickoff where like that game didn't start till maybe like 8:30, and we could
watch a second half after we beat them. Like,
that would have been,
and just chill.
We're on the West Coast. Why do we have to start at 4:30 local time? Let's kick that sucker back an hour or two.
CBS, dude.
Let's really have some fun.
Gary was like, I'm not doing it at that time. I'm not. I've never had to.
I didn't agree to them joining the Big Ten.
Yeah, I'm sure a conversation like that was had. I don't know. They want all eyeballs on it. They want to compete with the SEC market, whatever. But yeah, it's going to be a quad box game, and I'm going to be honed in on LSU. Obviously, commercial breaks, I'll pop over, but this is a game for us, man.
We do have to talk. I want to remember to talk later on about the potential of Texas A&M, because if this goes south for LSU, if LSU goes like can't beat Ole Miss, part of me, there is a small part of me that thinks we have to just let A&M beat us. They roll into Texas game as a 1-loss, undefeated in the SEC, and just get slapped down by Texas twice to get knocked out of the playoff. Like, what an incredible feeling it would be for A&M to be like, all we needed was Elko. We're back. And the first time they've played Texas in a decade, they play them back-to-back weeks and just get the shit kicked out of them twice and end up in the Alamo Bowl. Like, what an absolute shit that would have to be.
Yeah. I guess before we dive into LSU, it is good to recap a little bit. Like, last week was insane. We have to touch on last week before we dive into anything. A&M's victory, I was prancing around New York City, man. I thought I had some bets put in and nothing was going to go shady. It was like you mentioned, it was a pumpkin patch weekend in October. I checked my phone and A&M is up like, I don't know, by like fucking 20 points, like out of the gate. I'm like, what's going on? Is Wegman playing? Is he all of a sudden good again? Like, what the fuck is happening? Going back and rewatching, Missouri sucks. Like, we've been hyping up Missouri, and I say we very loosely. I've been very high on Missouri.
I've been a not so fast, my friend, on Missouri this year.
I know, and I have, and because I get in these weird, crazy mindsets that I think, yeah, I watch a game, like I watch the replay of all the top 10s after like 2 or 3 weeks, and I feel like I have it figured out. I thought Missouri was playing good ball. I thought A&M was starting to shit the bed. A&M's got good coaching. They've got decent talent. They're going to win games that sometimes they shouldn't. The problem is they fucking destroyed Missouri. It wasn't just like, yeah, they beat a team they shouldn't have beaten. They
Missouri didn't
embarrassed
get off the
Missouri.
bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Missouri's out, right? And I think
Yes.
that's one of those deals where like you have a consistent top 10 team for the first 6 weeks of the season. And then now it's like, yeah, they sputtered a little bit, and then boom, they got their ass kicked by A&M. I don't see Missouri making it, clawing their way back into a top 12 this season. I just don't, because of losses like that. So I think with LSU, you can't have an ass beat, right? Like we already got beat by USC, and it sucks. We weren't prepared. It's stupid. We had to play that game. We lost. Like we had the game fucking tied with seconds left. Whatever. It is what it is. You got a loss.
Missouri has a very favorable schedule. Alabama's the only ranked team left. They have UMass, Auburn, Bama. Oklahoma.
But it's gonna.
They don't play Georgia.
No, South Carolina, Mississippi
I just
State,
don't
Arkansas.
see how Missouri was such a, because I don't think A&M is going to finish that great, and so it's gonna. Obviously, you're going to have Notre Dame with a loss against Northern Illinois. You'll have Missouri with a bad loss against A&M.
Notre Dame has to play both Army and Navy.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You're going to have a lot of one-loss teams that are going to be left out for two-loss teams that have a better resume. And I feel like Missouri is kind of in that mold because of how awful they got beat by A&M.
Yeah,
we'll see. I don't know. I'm just talking out of my ass.
No, there's going to be a lot of very interesting debates from the committee, and we're all going to hate them so much. Like they're just going to, it's going to be fun. Like I cannot wait for the entire world to just like hate on the committee and be like, hey, why the fuck are we doing it this way? Like that's what's going to come of this year.
Yeah, because you're going to have a lot of good teams that are just like knocking on the door, and it's going to be like, all right, UNLV taking number 12. It's like, man, if we're going to do this fucking system, like, why can't we just stick to the big boys?
But yeah,
it's coming in 2 years.
Michigan loses at Washington.
Right,
USC loses at Minnesota. Minnesota overcomes a brandishing of a weapon penalty, which, like, shout out to them. That dude made like 7 plays in a row. So, like, shout out to the brandishing of the weapon guy for staying.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I am the most anti
pro brandishing weapon.
No, I'm all for banning it. I'm all for, like, stop this fucking trend.
I thought you meant you were all in on everyone just fucking Yosemite Sam.
I'm all in on the fucking clamp down of the idiocracy. Like this is like me walking through a Walmart 5 years ago and seeing kids do the fucking floss and shit. Like, cut it out.
Get it out.
Cut it out. Get it out of here.
This is a little bit more extreme, but yeah.
Not in my town. Not in my Walmart.
But it's the same feeling I get. It's the same, like, guys, like, you look like fucking idiots. At least, like, do something creative or fun. But, like, man, I don't know. It's just defiance. And it's just this season. It's like they get it. They see somebody do it and they know it's bad. And so they got to fucking do it. But the most egregious one, I will say this. I was watching the Packers game. I think it was the NFL, and he got a first down. He literally was just like, yeah. And they're like, thumb. Like they were like, you can't, like this would have been fine. But the thumb, it was like a gun. It's like, oh God, of course the NFL is like getting really into it.
Shout out PJ Fleck for trying to say he was doing the seatbelt thing when he like 1000% just like lifts.
He shucked the shotgun.
And then major shout out to the South Carolina player.
I thought you were going to say Major Burns was doing it too.
Oh no, well
Major Burns does that while he's cooking dinner, dude.
If Major Burns can make a play worthy of a brandishing a weapon, I will say this right now, I'm for it. Like if he makes a brandishing of a weapon play, he deserves to do it.
Yeah.
We just won't see that happen. But no, South Carolina dude down 20-something points, gets a first sack all day and just Tommy guns fucking dart.
Yeah, he did.
That was the freshman phenom defensive end, I think.
Some Home Alone type shit. But my Tommy gun don't.
Yeah, Dart's like, you missed. Like it's just so stupid. It's just so fucking
You
stupid.
missed.
I mean, it's just so
Um,
easy not to do. Like everyone knows now, you
No,
just don't do
no.
it. Are you frozen, dude?
Yeah, wait.
Oh no.
Can you imagine?
Can you hear me still?
we
we
can
can
hear
hear
you,
you.
can't see you,
All
so we'll
right.
carry
All right,
on.
we'll get it fixed. Carry on.
Can you imagine these conversations that the head coaches are saying? All right, now another thing we need to talk about.
Imagine
can't-
that
you
on
can't-
film. Imagine
do
Bo
guns.
Davis. Imagine Bo Davis with a laser pointer
frozen.
hitting film. I know it froze again.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Like just having to have that conversation of like, guys, you can't brandish a weapon, act like you're brandishing a weapon. It costs us 15 yards.
Yeah, but also, disconcerting signals. I mean, like where do you draw the line? So Second Amendment, right? I don't know. We'll see. It is a little crazy. Let's get into the Ole Miss.
No, we'll go real quick. Gotta go real quick because Miami lucked out against
That's
Cal
right.
late
We're still
night.
talking about last week. My bad, guys.
And then Tennessee, Arkansas obviously was
Now Mike's
kind of an
camera's
interesting one.
Camera's not out. I did that.
out. Mike's pulling his pecker out.
But yeah, I mean, we didn't expect Arkansas to beat Tennessee. That was an interesting one. Hand up. There was about 5 minutes left in the game, and I was like, there's just zero chance Arkansas is going to be able to drive down and score. So I like went off, did some shit, and all of a sudden checked back, and there was players on the field, and I was like, I've made a huge mistake.
You know what other
I
mistake?
did not get it.
You know what other huge mistake I made after just looking at 2 games of film? That fucking Lance Hurd's good. Big mistake on my part. Big mistake. That's an NFL guard thinking he can play left tackle.
Yeah. I don't know. It is what it is. The dude wanted to play. He went and played early, and obviously there was a reason why we didn't move Emory Jones inside and play that dude as a true freshman. Not talking shit. He's obviously talented. Probably going to be an NFL player for a long stretch, but like he's obviously wasn't ready as a freshman / sophomore.
So Miami comes back at the last minute, right? Beats Cal. They're still fucking cruising, undefeated. Cam Ward's on his way mid-season. It's like, me calling Jaden Daniels the MVP of the NFL, but like Cam Ward's kind of up for the Heisman right now.
I think he might need the dude from Boise to fucking break a leg.
Yeah, that's
correct.
Because
I forgot about that cat.
That is video game type numbers that I'm not sure unless Boise loses 4 games. Like I'm not sure you can just be like, nah.
No, he's going to be there. He's going to have to be there.
I mean, they
There's
showed
nothing more than I love. There's nothing more that I love than a Heisman caliber running back. You got to bring him.
They showed his stats up against like Derrick Henry, Bush, and Ingram, and someone else like through their first however many games, and he's like blowing them out the water.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt that. I mean, he's getting like 8 touches too, and it's
he's sitting. He's sitting at halftime.
I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you I've been watching all the Boise games, but it seems like that dude is a fucking.
In this day and age, how did that cat not leave Boise?
He said he did. He said he had a bunch of offers and he declined it.
Good for him, man. Good for him.
They said
while we're on that topic,
there was a special.
Fuck Malachi, dude. Can we talk about how awful the antics and behavior was from 13?
Nothing made me happier, Mike, because that just
a lot of Bama fans were happy about it.
The culture's dead. Like that just gave me all the fuel I needed to be like, I knew the second I fucking saw Roll Tide Willie with his feet up on Saban's old desk like he's one of the boys, that this wasn't gonna
They stormed the Capitol, bro. They got in there and they were just putting the feet on the desk and like, we're still good. It's like, no, man, you're going away for a while.
But like again, like it just went back to my point of like fucking spare me that DeBoer is like the #2 coach in all of college football already. Like he never had to go through the type of grind that like you have to, especially with all the pressure at LSU or at Alabama. You could lose the locker room when shit like this happens. 100%. Bama's probably still going to be really good. They're probably still going to be a lingerer.
They've got the best. They have the most talent on any roster in the league. They should still be good. The concerning part for them is what you saw, not just losing to Vanderbilt, But what happened with Malachi Moore, and I'm not talking about what he did. It's what the coaches didn't do.
Yep.
And the fact that they tried to get him out and then he fucking like shooed them off and then kicked the football and was like going crazy. It's like that never happens last season. That never happens for the past 15 years. And I get it. He's showing emotion. And some people are like, well, Ed Reed cried at halftime that he's not okay. It's like that. Like what? Like that. I couldn't even respond. But like, that's different. It's about self-control and understanding what the image looks like if you don't respond to the fucking commander in chief. What are all those prima donnas on the sideline getting $1 million a pop to go to that school going to do when DeBoer is trying to coach him up when they don't give a fuck on a Wednesday practice, right? Yep. It's like that. That's the difference in where Alabama is. It's Les Miles. Les has walked in and he's got all this talent, and yeah, they're still going to be really fucking good. But every now and then they're going to fucking lose to Vanderbilt, and they're going to lose to Kentucky, and they're going to drop, the championship game because they're not focused, but they're talented enough to get by. And that's what's happening right now. I think Jalen Milroe is a great fucking kid. There's something about him. I think he's a great dude. He's surprisingly good at quarterback. I thought he'd suck ass, but like he's surprisingly decent at quarterback. But he's literally like their whole team. There's nothing that scares me about Alabama.
Throw it up to the 17-year-old.
Yeah, that dude's fucking sick. But like
he's insane.
Yeah,
we need him.
Weird.
We need
It's
him
like
to
a
get
ballerina.
some sort of. We need to get him some sort of NIL deal to Ohio State or some shit. Like, just get him out. But
I would welcome that.
This is just the start of the slow erosion. It's like you lose to Vanderbilt, everyone laughs at you. All of a sudden, these kids in Florida are going to start going to Miami, and these kids you're getting out of Texas are going to start going to Texas, and you're not going to be able to go into A-Meet in Northern Louisiana and take all the guys that Saban did because you don't have the 37 rings on the wall and everything. It's just this is how it plays out, and it just brought me such a delight. And of all teams, to be Vanderbilt. And
Vandy.
Like, look, I'm a little nervous about playing Vanderbilt. Like, I wish we had Auburn on our schedule.
Yeah, they're going to score some points. Take the over.
Yeah. So, but it just shows you that, like we've been saying, the automatic just fucking pencil Bama across the board is done.
Yeah.
Like that type of shit is over and left with Miss Terry. Like it's just
you don't have the Saban edge anymore to give it to
Yes.
them if it's a coin flip, right? So like now you really have to be objective. I'm like, okay, well, their defense sucks. So, at the end of the day, how often is Milroe and Ryan Williams going to actually fucking carry the team against good competition? Granted, they did it a hell of a job against Georgia, but did they blow their wad that game? Was that their big win of the year? Probably, So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. It was thrilling. It was the same feeling I had when Saban retired. It was like, this is what I've been waiting for.
Yes,
It wasn't, it wasn't,
Everyone's
they
human.
lost the national championship. It was like, no, you're gonna stumble to these random teams. Get used to this.
And that fan base is ready to turn on you. They're not going to give
They're
you the
out of here with
benefit of the
Kalen. They're out.
Like, they will not say, well, we got to give them time. Like that's not how it works.
He's kind of a bitch. Like I think he's a good coach, but like that's not a Bama coach, man. And that's easy for me to say as an LSU fan, just hanging out. And it's probably the same type of comment someone would say about Brian Kelly going to LSU. It's like, it just doesn't seem like an LSU guy, whatever. I just don't see Kalen DeBoer working out at Bama. He looks like the scapegoat as a in between to something better later on. I don't know.
He has a little bit of that seeing ghost look to him on the sidelines too, where he's like, what did I get myself into? While he's literally wearing the ugliest of like Bama gear you can find. It's like, I don't understand.
I can't tell who he is. Is he he looks like he's trying to be a hardcore players coach, but he's not a players coach. He's more of an X's and O's guy, but he's stuck in a situation where he's got to cater to some serious egos and figure that out.
Since we're kind of on the discussion of get off my lawn, we talked about it earlier. I think I'm out on all these college coaches wearing hoodies. And I know that pretty much every podcast we've done for the last like 4 years, I've probably had some sort of a hoodie on. But like, be a fucking professional. Tuck your fucking shirt in. Like, there's a time and a place where the weather drops, and maybe we're sneaking into Halloween.
You earn a hoodie. You earn a hoodie. Belichick can wear a hoodie.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't get to just like be cool Lane Kiffin on the sidelines in a hoodie. Like, have some respect, tuck in your shirt, and like, put on some khakis.
No, but Lane's behavior, this is unique to Ole Miss with him. He's been a professional all the way until he got fucking snubbed after he became the OC at Alabama. He kind of took a step back and was like, you know what? I'm in Florida. I'm chilling. And he carried that over to Ole Miss. And he's made it very clear by his behavior. Like, dude, you don't wear a hoodie that says sip if you plan on being there until you retire. That's a guy that's like, I'm having fun in this moment. I just spent a shit ton on NIL. I'm trying to win a national championship with my good offense for once. And then I'm going to wait out Kalen DeBoer leaving Bama because I'm going to take over there and I'm going to fucking tuck my shirt in. Like, that's what Lane Kiffin's doing. He's made it evident. He's not sticking around for long.
All right.
And we could throw a curveball in that this week, though. This is a Brian Kelly staple game. If he can pull this off, it will go down on one of the biggest Brian Kelly victories since he's been at LSU outside of the Bama game.
No, I mean, I think this is, everyone wanted to say USC was the biggest game in Brian Kelly's career at LSU, and I didn't really buy into that because I kind of knew that we were going to end up where we are right now. Win or lose, we were most likely going to be playing a top 10 Ole Miss team at home at night, coming off a bye. And there we go.
Dude, you put in the late hours, dude. Love that.
And I think LSU, I like LSU's chances in this game. I was coming in ready. I thought I had just a brilliant take of saying I thought this game was going to play out a lot like the USC game. Flipped on the scone man today just to get some little tigers in my veins. And he has the exact same take. So I had to just like kind of pull the ripcord on that one. Makes me sad. I thought I was going to crush it. But I kind of think it's going to be one of those games where it's like everyone thinks it's going to be a shootout, and it's probably going to be one of those like in the 20s, high 20s games and kind of close the whole way.
What I pray for, what I'm like just all week thinking to myself, like, please just keep us in the game. Like, I just want this to be a game. I do not want this to be Tennessee a couple years ago where we turned it on after we got our fucking ass kicked by the flavor of the month team. And I just don't want that to be I don't want Ole Miss to end up being a fraud after they kick our ass, right? Like, I want this to be where we actually put it all together for the first time this season. We overcome what the fuck is happening with these injuries, by the way. We'll get into that in a second, but we overcome the deficits that we've been doing, and we're improving, and we actually can fall back and say, whew, okay, we did put together a hell of a coaching staff. They're improving, and we pulled out a hell of a victory, right? Like, yeah, we maybe squeaked out a field goal victory against Ole Miss at home at night, but it was a crazy, like, this is a rush the field type of like build. Not that we need to rush the field, kids. But what I'm saying is they will. It's one of the, it's like, it's being built up right now because we're so on edge of, are we good or not? Can anyone define it yet? Because there's still that hope. Everyone's still kind of clinging to that. Like, no, we still have a shot. Like, we're in this. Everyone's going to have a loss. We just have to make sure like we perform well. If we perform well Saturday night, Death Valley, fucking Nussmeier is getting all this hype all of a sudden. Caden Durham's toe is healing properly. Defense is starting to come along. Toviano's off of suspension. He's starting at star. Maybe not. I kind of just made that up. I'm hoping that he is just really good, and we're just kind of waiting to put him in the right spot. You don't see a lot of Major Burns. You don't see a lot of Sage Ryan. You get the guys finally performing where we need to be. We get the victory against Ole Miss, and this defines the new phase of this season and who we are going into next year with these young defenders stepping up with a great foundation being laid against Ole Miss.
Yeah,
That's
and
the
the other
posy
side,
spin.
no, and yeah, and the other side of the coin is that if you lose this game while you've been sitting at home getting better for an extra week, had all this time to look ahead to this game, if South Alabama bye while Ole Miss plays back-to-back SEC games, it's time to take a look in the mirror. And I've been the leader of the Brian Kelly bandwagon of like, well, the culture's great, like we're building, the foundation's great, but it's like these are games that you kind of have to win, especially if you're not going to beat a pretty average USC team to open up the season.
That average USC team is going to beat Penn State. That's what's happening this week. We're going to get to this week later, but
I'm
USC,
really excited about the game.
Yeah.
It's a real test. It's the first time all season we're gonna actually enjoy a sick environment. I want to go to this game. I can't believe I'm saying it, especially with the week. But all I can think about is like how sick the stadium atmosphere is.
This is the game you go to. This is the one.
The weather is going to be.
Your brother's going, right?
I think Chris is going.
Yeah, he's coming over here like Friday.
There's just part of me that really wants to show up to that game and enjoy the experience. But
let's go, Brett.
All right, let's go.
No, dude, don't go.
Let's go.
Y'all don't go.
So Brett, let's go. I have tickets on the 50 in a box.
Okay, I'm in. But no, it's
probably
it's
does, dude. Time. That's what Grant does. He'll pull some shit like that out of his ass, like random week up. But it is what
I hope, like you said, we don't just get punched in the mouth and go down 14 immediately. I think the biggest part of this game, obviously, we cannot have any injuries at linebacker. It seems like we have two and only two, so we'll see how that goes. But the defensive line is going to have to continue to be able to get pressure and get to the quarterback when they're playing a step up of competition. And then the offensive line, like this is the best defensive line. The front you're probably going to go up against or have so far. Maybe you can say South Carolina, but it's like they're going to have to hold up and let Nussmeier cook a little bit. And if we can do that, if the defensive line can play like they have all season against Ole Miss, I'd like where we're at.
I think the defensive line will. I think the key to this game is the safeties because I see the pressure that we've been putting on quarterbacks all year. Braden Swinson has been playing lights out. Savion Jones has been playing very solid defensive end. The D-line has been performing. There's a lot of hype now. Past 2 weeks, we've been having, multiple stories about Ahmad Bro being put out there about how he's turning a corner, etc. The D-line is the foundation of this defense, and it is performing to a better standard than we've seen, but they still have not hit their ceiling, in my opinion. And I think this is the first real big test. Yes, USC was a big test. Lincoln Riley's offense is a good offense. Lane Kiffin's offense right here with year 3 of Jackson Dart is a different type of animal, whether we like to admit that or not. They're a better fucking offense. It is what it is. Now,
Trey Harris being possibly out also throws a big wrench in that.
Little wrench there. But I think the containment of Dart is the key here, and I don't mean off the edges. I think we're going to play disciplined football on the D-line, and we're going to force Jackson Dart to beat us over the top. And honestly, I can live with that. If we still blow fucking coverages, that's on us. That's on coaching, but I don't see that happening. I see contested balls, make him make plays. But if he starts scrambling, we cannot give up the fucking 20-yard burst plays up the middle where our safeties and linebackers are whiffing after the quarterback scrambles up the middle, right? And so I think it's not going to be the edge game. I think the defensive ends and the D-line are going to play great contain and not go upfield. I think Dart is going to have opportunities in the middle to kind of escape, continue drives, stay on the field, put up points if we do not secure and execute the middle with open field tackling. I think that's the biggest key, man. Our defense has to we don't have to go out there and win the game on defense. We don't have to play some lights out defense. We have to make fucking tackles and get the stops that we actually deserve to make. What I mean by that is if you force fucking dart off of his balance and he's got to scramble for a first down. Do not let him get every fucking first down that he scrambles for, especially if it's up the gut. So I feel like that's how you stop that offense, or that's how you at least keep us in the game. Offensively, they're going to make their plays. Absolutely. This is going to be a game. I think our offense is ready for this, though. I think our offense has been gelling each week. We've seen so many flashes of really good offense,
especially from Josh Williams.
Josh should not play. Josh should not.
Well, he's what?
He has 10 toes that have not been
exactly. He at least has.
We all know toes. Josh is going to be the fucking get the game ball after we win or some shit. It's going to be like.
Ole Miss does feel like a game where Jackson's just going to like maybe truck stick like 4 guys and we like absolutely lose our mind over like the
get Jackson on the perimeter. Stop fucking running him into a wall because he can't see beyond the wall. He doesn't see beyond the wall. Get him on the outside. White Walker. Yeah, get him on the outside and let him cook, man. Let him run a fucking corner over and get 6 yards. You know, stop trying to get him up the middle. He's a weapon on the perimeter. Just let him cook, man. I don't know. I think we're gonna. I think it's just because it's game week. But going in a couple weeks ago, I honestly did not think we were gonna win this game. But
I knew we were gonna eventually get here, though. Everyone, oh my God, Ole Miss is gonna score 80 on us. We have no chance against Ole Miss. Oh my God, I can't tell you how many times I saw it. And then all of a sudden, they played a team in Kentucky and looked average. It's like we can beat.
Well, it's that
it's beat this team.
It's how things are lining up. It's getting defeated by USC, playing like trash against fucking Nichols, but getting out of there, right? And it's turning it on when you had to against South Carolina. You beat the hell out of South Al. You go into a bye week, right? You're recovering, but like the season is on the line now. You have to win this game. Ole Miss has been through a different progression when it comes to leading up to this game. Do they feel as if this is a must win? Yeah, probably. But the cards are not stacked up the same way. I think we have the advantage in just the overall build up to this game. It's all about execution. And if we can execute, we can win this game. We can beat Ole Miss. I get it. They're favored by 3 on the road. It's crazy. Right? Ole Miss is favored by 3 against LSU. I don't see how that's possible in this type of like the environment will play a factor. I get people leave early and it's been hot and yada yada yada. You can guarantee at least one game a year where it is the most hostile environment in almost all of sports. And that's going to happen this Saturday. I believe that. And if it doesn't, shame on those people. Shame on you people. But easy. All y'all.
I have a kid.
So does that whole stadium.
How am I supposed to drive? How am I supposed to drive? I'm the only one an hour away, Mike. An hour away. That ball game is an hour away from me.
I get it.
Okay, so for me to pack up, and then go tailgate and then drink all day, how am I supposed to get home?
No, don't drink all day. Just start drinking.
How am I going to scream?
Drink at the game. Don't stuff yourself all day. You can do that at 18. You can't do that at 37.
The beer's $30.
No, but anyway, I think the environment's going to play a big factor in this game. Obviously, right? That's kind of the talking point. Saturday night, Death Valley. It is going to make a difference. We can't let it hinder us. We can't let it get too big for us. I don't want Nuss to go in there and be like, "Fuck, this is my Super Bowl, and I'm playing on the biggest stage in the world." And he starts fucking becoming Brett Favre out there and throwing 6 picks. Like we need everybody to stay composed, do their job. And if we can do that, we can beat this team.
I'm really interested to see with all the wide receiver injuries, if we are going to finally see a lot more of those 2 tight end sets with Pimpton or potentially Green in there, or if we're just going to keep going down the depth chart on wide receivers until we can find someone to make a play. I think that's interesting. Something we probably haven't put on film much this year, that you have an extra week to prepare. You've known for at least a while that Parker and Daniels were at most.
When did Daniels get hurt?
I think he got hurt in the South Alabama game, and they said they all the stuff was better than they thought. It wasn't like the
I knew he
injury.
was. I knew it. I knew there was something, but I never liked him. I've something about CJ Daniels. He needs to prove it to me. I like Kyle Parker, and I keep looking at next season, trying to predict like depth charts in my head. I'm like, who the fuck are our receivers? Kyle Parker?
The
Like
portal.
Samson needs to perform, and I think
This
this is the week where you see him.
This is the Sheldon Sampson make it or break it game. Like if you can't figure out a way to get on the field and make some plays in this game, he's got a lot of time left in college football, but it feels like it's time to like almost like move on from assuming the 5-star, whatever. Maybe in a year that changes, but this is it.
Does Jelani Watkins get snaps this
Dude,
week?
he's like he looks fast. He's a quick kid, but he's not.
Small.
He's not playing on the perimeter.
It's going to be Javin. Is Javin Nicholas going to actually get
probably him and Josh Williams are roommates.
Watkins was the last name that Brian Kelly mentioned today when they were talking about like receivers stepping up, and he's like, and obviously Jelani Watkins.
I mean, the guy that's got to play is Xavier Thomas. Has to like play a ton of snaps, you would think.
And that
sure.
is what Kelly said, is you're going to see Xavier Thomas on the field a lot more. Thank God Aaron Anderson showed up and became a weapon for us, because like if we were rolling in here with Kyron Lacey, I would be kind of fucking terrified.
Very worried.
Yeah, I guess Mike, you're right. Like, or Brett, is Trey'Dez Green just going to line up at wideout? I mean,
you're going to see more tight ends being used, and I don't think it's just going to be Pimpton. I think Trey'Dez might get some snaps. It's just weird. We haven't seen more of Trey'Dez up to this point. And I just don't know if we're like, we're waiting for a major SEC game to throw out this kid. I think it's
in his head.
Yeah. I mean, he just started playing ball.
I was gonna say he hasn't played a ton of football. He's obviously freakishly gifted athletically.
I think he's practicing basketball this week. I think
this is a Mason Taylor game. This is like a Saturday night
Mason Taylor.
Fucking Mason Taylor heroics. I mean, we all look at the amazing catch he made for the 2-point conversion against Alabama, but like the touchdown that he scored was incredible. Just clutch, like over the top of the helmet type of catch, back of the end zone. I think if you can see that type of heroics from Mason Taylor, like those clutch catches, you're going to be in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, if you can establish some sort of run game where they have to respect Durham, or obviously they will respect Josh Williams, that helps Mason Taylor out a lot. We've had a lot of injuries. We're still not like hurting for weapons. I think LSU still has a extremely good, probably underrated offense. This offense has shown the ability to have a lot of long drives this season, which I think can help. Obviously, we saw Kentucky's formula to beating Ole Miss was keeping them on the sidelines for 2/3 of the game. And I think LSU can do something somewhat similar to sustain some drives. They just have to kind of, I think it comes down to scoring touchdowns in the red zone and not kicking field goals.
This is going to be one of those turnover games.
Not going for it and getting 0 points every fucking time.
Thank God we finally have a specialist too. I mean, with Xavier back there to return punts, this is one of those games where field position is going to be everything. And so if you can start in positive territory with some bursts there, just securing the catches, I think this is one of these turnover type of games, right? Like who can create a turnover, and if you can capitalize on that. And if you can prevent that on special teams, but actually get some positive situations coming out of it at home at night, I mean, that's a benefit for you. So it's going to be a tight game.
Yeah, there's going to be a time this season where he kind of turns the tide of the game by having a big return/touchdown return. I hope it's this weekend. That would be, kind of fall in line with some Ole Miss lore. But
the little guys are going to have to perform, man. Aaron Anderson and Xavier. The little guys are going to have
Josh Williams.
Josh is not a little guy.
He's under 6 foot.
Yeah. Stop it. Just stop bringing him up. Can we just stop bringing him up?
I mean, we're going to be
a workhorse all Saturday night.
He's a workhorse.
18. Big old towel.
Man, I'm just so excited for this game. It feels like obviously the USC was a big game, but it's like since then it was closer than we wanted at South Carolina, whatever. But this feels like the first time LSU is in a prime time, all eyes, which, a lot of people will be watching Ohio State, but a big time night SEC atmosphere. I'm just ready to see how it goes. I'm a believer in Nuss. I think Nuss is really, really good. And if we can hold up on the offensive line, I think LSU has a good chance.
We just got to secure the catches, man. We can't have Kyron Lacy dropping balls and just acting lackadaisical and fucking firing off weapons. Like we need him. We need him to secure the catches, and he's got to settle down. I think if Kyron Lacy can settle down and just be like, look, dude, we get it. You're good. Like, you don't need to showboat. You don't need to perform. Just play receiver. And if Kyron Lacy can just play receiver, he's going to score points. He's going to get us in the red zone. He's going to secure some good catches. It's when he starts trying to do too much is when he goes off the rails.
No, I agree. I mean, get the ball to Aaron Anderson, get the ball to Mason Taylor. Hopefully, Caden.
Let's run the ball.
Durham.
Can we run the fucking football with Caden and
Nuss?
Not Josh, but can we run the fucking football and just get some positive momentum? That's what. Unfortunately, I feel like that's what we're going to try to do early. Is all right, we're just going to run the ball, keep the ball out of their hands, chew this clock up. But we can't do that if we're getting stuffed, on 3rd and short for 3 series in a row.
That's what I was going to say is what's going to lose LSU this game is when they have multiple 3rd and 2s and they cannot convert. That's how you lose these types.
And you got to, but you got to adjust the game plan. We got it. Like the coaches have to be on fire on Saturday, just as much as we expect the players to be. They need to be reacting, adjusting, changing the fucking game plan. We need to throw it all out there because the season is on the line, but the season's up for grabs.
And you've almost had 3 weeks at this point to kind of prepare for this game. I'm sure you prepare for South Alabama like normal, but the second that game was over, we were on to Ole Miss prep while Ole Miss is doing something totally different, having to play in a game. This should be the time where we see, I'm not saying trick plays, but I'm saying stuff that you think's going to work, that you worked on in practice, that you haven't shown, or you've been setting up all season and haven't run the actual, the not trick play, but the play that's based off of the fake. And we got to convert. It would be nice to see Chris Hilton out there to kind of be able to take the top off the defense some. But at this point, I just think you have to think that that's not happening. So it's do what you do.
And what sucks, Chris Hilton, man, his lore is now built up where we expect him to fucking when he comes back, he's gonna be this ultimate receiver. It's dude, I knew something was off when he had his glove tucked in his fucking knee pad during off-season training. He was just so ready to roll. And of course, the day before the USC game, he's he's out. Who is this cat? Where are you, man? No, but I agree with you. Get your popcorn ready.
Get your popcorn ready.
It seems like Brian Kelly and Lane Kiffin don't necessarily like each other that much, which adds a little bit of something to the game. I'm very, very excited to catch that little 20-second mic'd up of them chatting up before the game and just hearing I'm just ready for that. It's going to be some very bullshit. Oh, you got a good squad. Oh, but even today, Brian Kelly was yeah, we overhauled the coaching staff. They just got all new players. There's just a little bit of something that's brewing between them. I'm sure it pisses Brian Kelly off that Lane trolls him about his dancing and everything else. But
speaking of that, when he was dancing on that cat from Westgate, did that dude ever end up doing anything for Bama? He took that 20K and
did he not transfer? I thought he transferred out.
Oh, he left already?
What was his name? Danny Lewis? Was that right?
Yeah.
Danny boy.
Oh, Danny boy.
Holstein's starting to sling it around at Pittsburgh.
He's done that on the video game.
Yeah, he won the Heisman in my video game year 2 or year 3.
Dude, I got to get back into the game.
I know.
Once the season hit, I disappeared.
I looked yesterday and it was last time Mike was on was 56 days ago. It's that hurts. That hurts.
Dude, it's just once the season hit, I'm sure the second the season's over, I'll be back in.
Yeah, we'll be back. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're missing anything about the Ole Miss game. I'm very excited for it. This is a, I mean, you win this game, everything is right in front of you. You know, you have a beatable. Also, it's like going to Arkansas the week after this feels a little scary now. Like
Everything
there's
feels
land.
scary, dude. I can't tell you who the top
rest
5
of the
teams are.
Yeah, there's landmines everywhere. Like every game, I think I said this last week and probably said it for 3 weeks. I think LSU is good enough to be in every game they play, and I also think they're not good enough to ever like pull away from really anyone.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a game every time. And Brian Kelly said that in the preseason. He's just like, this is a team that's gonna have to learn that the games are gonna be on the line every week, and you're gonna have to pull out a tight victory. So yeah. Jared Watson says, y'all talk hype video. Was there a new hype video that I missed?
I didn't watch it yet, but apparently it's Booga hype video narration.
I saw there was one. I feel like we've kind of like grown out of the hype video. Like for a while, it was like we do the best hype videos, and now all of a sudden it doesn't feel like we do them that often.
Don't
They're not a big
apologize,
thing.
Jared.
We don't. Yeah, we don't take apologies.
We don't
here.
take apologies, Jared.
But I don't know. I
No, but
didn't
ever
watch
since
it.
the fucking what's his name, Will
Stout.
Will
Levis?
Stout left for USC, it's never been the same. We will watch it after.
Yeah,
the
that's
100-year
a-
Tar Stadium. Yeah, I'm sure it's tight. We'll check it
That's
out.
a Saturday morning. I'm up at 6:30. Just like this is a nightmare. It's forever until the game will kick. Let's just scroll Twitter until my phone gets too hot and I have to go plug it in. And that's when I'll watch it and be like, fuck yeah, in 12 hours, this is going to be sick.
12 hours.
Yeah,
There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse.
2018, 2019, that was peak highlight video. I remember when I was first like wowed by Stout was Georgia 2018 when he had a like a Smells Like Teen Spirit fucking hype video, and you had who was our crazy fullback with the black
Carter.
face?
Carter.
Yeah, he was like doing his tongue and shit, like Kiss video. It was wild. It was some crazy stuff. But yeah, no, we'll check it out.
Since we're on this, remember randomly when LesMiles.net used to just drop bangers?
Yeah, it was all
What a
fucking Tyrann Mathieu.
What a time. We're LesMiles.net.
My favorite highlight video growing up, though, it was like
Bone Stalker.
I think so. It may have been. It was like 07 or 06. I think 06, and they had Boom by POD.
Yeah, that was like one of the original Bone Stalker videos, I think.
Those were fun. Yeah, I don't know. Listen, I think it's gonna be
nowadays players are doing fucking TikTok dances in the locker room.
the only thing I don't like about the highlight videos of like game action, it's just like there's never a play. It's just these fucking quick, like I get it, like it looks tight, like action scenes, but like I want to play
because
we don't like a story. I don't want to just get a million clips within 30 seconds. Like I need a developing situation.
I was going to say we don't have another LeBron Landry eating your boy's lunch type.
Yeah, but like we could
like
let's do those type of hits, but like after you've seen us getting beaten down and we carry through, like we start winning game, and then boom, and like like a little fucking grunge. I don't know.
And then all of a sudden you cut to Clark Lee talking about how they're going to beat Bama's ass in the second half.
Yes,
and then everyone's just like that.
I did feel like the biggest idiot ever in the Vanderbilt game whenever I'm like mass texting the boys like, guys, it's not looking great. I had just turned the game back, like the game on, and it was the start of the second quarter, but there was a kickoff. So I just assumed that it was a quick first half, and because like the 2:30 games were late in the second. And I was like, holy shit, we're in the third quarter at Vanderbilt. And all of a sudden I realized that there was so much football left. I was like, I'm gonna hate myself when Bama wins by 30 in this game.
Dude, I was live betting on the train. I was like, all right, so let me jump in here. What do we got? Bama -4. I'm like, yeah, they're gonna come back.
Sign me up.
Like, let me parlay that with Georgia -10. And then it's just like everybody just fucking blew it.
Yeah, this is going to be the easiest bet. I'm going to look like the smartest man alive when Bama wins by 24.
The second I made the bet, I was just sitting there, just fucking looking out the window. I was like, that was too easy. There's no way this works. Like
But
that's
like even Georgia like wasn't moving the
no.
ball on Auburn. Like everyone is susceptible. It's just fun. It's fun to watch a college football season where it doesn't feel like I could tell you the national championship game and probably be right in week 7.
Yeah,
It's not
it's
just
gonna
like,
be
well, Clemson, Bama, or Georgia, Bama. That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think Ole Miss LSU, I think it's a tight game. I think we pull out I think we pull out a
Yeah, we do.
tight close victory. That's I don't know score prediction, I don't know anything, but I right now I feel as if we can take care of business and eke out a tight victory, and it's going to be a hell of a fun night. If it goes the opposite direction, I'll be pretty upset. I don't anticipate that. I'm holding out hope.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the game is going to be decided late in the 4th quarter. Like we're going to have to make a defensive stop, or we're going to have to drive down and put up a score with 5 minutes left to win. Like it just should be. I think it's going to be a really fun college football game that I hope we're obviously on the right side of.
Let's talk some ball. Let's talk some top 25 matchups. Big slate this week.
Huge slate. I'm worried. Everyone said last one was going to suck, but open it up with the 11 a.m. kick, South Carolina at Bama. I think we just took South Carolina's soul for 1, but 2,
Bama's
like,
going to destroy them.
What a terrible spot for South Carolina.
Malachi Moore might actually bring a gun. Like he's going to be running up there, just fucking brandishing real weapons. What do they have the spread at? 21 points over 50.5 though is the total. Very interesting there.
Just to circle back one time, Malachi Moore kicking that football was fucking hilarious.
Well, it just never stopped. I'm just like because I saw him do the helmet situation, and I did like a Leo DiCaprio, like get him out of here, you know, like what do we? And then he kept screaming, and then he launched the fucking mouthpiece, and then he stomped over to the refs and kicked the ball. I'm like, this is like, is anyone going to do anything about this? And like, no one was talking about it like on Twitter yet until well after the game. So I was like, am I the only motherfucker that's like an old man? And it's just like aggravated by this. Like, you guys lost. Like, fucking suck it up. Anyway.
But just to have him like Andy Bernard, the football, like it's the fucking trash can and the GIF was just so funny.
And then mock the ref where he's like, yeah, throw the flag.
Hand up. I like didn't see a lot of it because I was just like hammering away on the phone when that happened. But yeah, I mean, South Carolina, Alabama to kick off. It is very strange, and I like it, but it's very strange to not have Texas OU be the 11 a.m. kickoff.
Sacrilege.
Like I think it's fair to put that game later in the day. Like it is such a big game. I always kind of thought it was weird, but it would have been a really nice way to kickstart the day to just start with Red River. But that's okay.
Dude, you boys got the map early, Grant. Way to go.
I usually finish it up by Thursday.
I'll be at soccer until about 12, so it works out well for me that, you know, we get to get home and get settled in before the real slate kind of begins.
Getting a Fitz tattoo at noon.
There we go.
Where are you putting it?
I'm putting his paw on my thigh like he used to scratch.
Right here?
Yeah, and then underneath my eye.
Right here.
I'm just getting his name. No, yeah, dude. Saturday is one of those days where it's such a good slate, but also such a beautiful time of year where you're just kind of like, I got to distract myself a little bit. Like I'd feel like a complete piece of shit just waking up on like a beautiful, crisp October day on a Saturday and just being like, hey, babe, don't talk to me. It's a big day of ball. You know, like I got to do some stuff. And then like afternoon, I feel like I'll start kind of honing in around the 3:30 slate or whatever that is for 2:30.
No, I'm with you. Like there is no worse feeling than being like, I guess it was nice outside today. Like,
and I missed it, lost all my money. We lost.
Yeah. Instead, I watched Arch Manning score the 60th point in a fucking rout against OU.
And I couldn't even pay attention because I had 3 other games going on at the same
Yeah,
time.
the
And
quad box while
I was just like
texting
all
and
over the
tweeting.
place, and then I kept muting it because the Wingstop commercial kept coming on. I hate that song. No flex, don't, dude. Worst commercial on television, except for the Golf Channel's fucking
Wingstop has the worst commercial.
Wingstop no flex zone, dude. Yes, it's the worst commercial outside of the Golf Channel's fucking. God, it was like some microwavable egg rolls or some shit. I forgot what they were called. It was just like you don't know what I'm talking about.
Are you talking about? It was like the tournament they played somewhere in Asia, and it's like
No.
That's what you're talking.
No, dude, they kept that fucking ad running all golf season, and it was like, oh god, Ichiba or some bullshit. But there's BB go, go. That bullshit.
Yeah, I do know what you're talking about. That is a nightmare.
BB go and Wingstop. Don't fuck with me. Anyway, back to business.
But yeah, 2:30 window. We have Texas, Oklahoma. It looks like Texas is 14.5-point favorites. And then you also have Penn State, USC in the same window.
Penn State, USC, bet hard against Penn State. I am so out on Penn State. I have won every bet this season against Penn State. They suck.
It's so nice to have someone come to the dark side of like Franklin's an absolute bum.
Sucks. Franklin sucks. I gave him a shot, probably too long. I liked his energy. I liked what he brought to the table, but he just never got over the hump, and now he's sinking it. He's sinking it.
There's the number 4 ranked team in the country.
But it's bullshit. It's so bullshit. Dude, that team sucks. That's where we're at right now. Like, no one knows what the fuck's going on. You got Penn State at 4.
Mark my yeah. That's where we're at right now. Where Penn State's just locked into a bye. 100%. We're going to be looking at the bottom line and seeing that Stanford is in a game with Notre Dame, and we're going to have to like check it out. There's just no doubt in my mind that game's going to be like 10-7 at halftime or some shit. We're going to be like, oh, Notre Dame on the ropes again.
Right.
Does this thing keep disappearing for y'all too?
No. It's back now. It was gone. I thought that was on purpose.
Yeah.
No, dude. Notre Dame is like one of those teams that like every week it's a different fucking story. It's like, yeah, dude, they're back, and then like boom, Stanford's gonna beat you. Like, I don't know, dude. I'm just I like Marcus Freeman, and that kind of sucks. I think this is his first coaching gig. I like what he's doing. I think he's kind of up against an unrealistic fan base. They're kind of insane to think that they should just run the table every year and stay independent. I love the tradition. I love the old school vibe of Notre Dame, but like, dude, they're another team that I thought would be a lot better. And it's not just the loss to Northern Illinois. Like, they just haven't looked good. There's just something off there, but they're a team that's probably going to sneak in the playoffs and have all the hype and then get their ass kicked in the first round.
Yeah. I mean, I watched their games and I'm like, this is what we would have looked like if we had a shitty quarterback. Like, it's like Jayden Daniels made that offense look really fucking good at times when he can make all those deep throws and kill you with his legs. And who is it? Riley Leonard. Am I right?
Yeah. I guess he just got a lot of hype because of Elko and Duke, and he goes to Notre Dame. Just like, oh yeah, I'm the
average. Yeah, like he's who I anticipate a Duke quarterback being.
Right.
Fine. Probably knows the playbook in and out. Great.
They thought they were like snagging a Drake May. They're like, yeah, we got this fucking North Carolina kid from Duke. It's like it's just because he's smart.
It's just, I don't know. The offense just feels like it's like that super basic like route tree shit that it's just like there's no. I don't know. It's like, thank God
you can't do that these days. As much as I want it. Just kidding.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do y'all want to do lines? You want to do Texas OU plus 14.5?
I like the over in that game. I don't like the spread. I can't put my finger on the spread. Something tells me that 14.5 means you have to take Texas.
Yeah, I mean, I would if we're doing picks, give me Texas. I know that every time this game's tough, and it's like every time one team is supposedly way better than the other, it doesn't work out. I don't know that Oklahoma has it in them. I just don't.
Texas is objectively better than Oklahoma, and
For
so
sure. Which hasn't mattered a lot in this rivalry.
I know
Like,
exactly.
Baker
I get that.
Mayfield, we were like, oh my God, Baker Mayfield and CeeDee Lamb are going to put up 1,000,000 and they would like lose or it'd be a 1-score game. Like, it's just
the one game whoever sucks that year is like, no, we're still going to fucking put on for this game. And they do, and they figure it out. If there's one constant through the 7 weeks that we've been discussing football, it's that Texas is pretty fucking good. I mean, like at the end, like Texas is pretty good. Do I think they're like one of the best teams ever? No, not by any stretch. But based off of what we've seen from everybody else, Texas is pretty good. Oklahoma has looked really bad. Like they've just not looked great. You know,
a lot
of
injuries
is coming back. You know, I don't know what that means. Is there going to be a little bit of, oh man, he threw a pick, so let's boo and let's get Arch in there? Like, do they have any of that craziness happening? Probably not. But I think Venables is going to have a game plan. But there's just, for the spread to be that large, I think I just have to go with what we've seen. And that's that Texas is that much better. I think they're going to put up a lot of points. I think Oklahoma is going to try to make it a comeback, and I think you're going to get over that 50.
Yeah. I could see, you know, it being tight early and Texas running away with it. But I feel like if you're betting Oklahoma, you're almost like betting on a backdoor cover.
Yes, and you're in Texas denial. Like you're a hardcore A&M fan that's just like, yeah, dude, OU plus 14.5, give me that. Texas sucks, you know. But yeah, other than that, I don't know.
If you told me Texas was up 17 with 3 minutes left and OU had the ball and like, you know, could maybe march down and score and get a high five touchdown, like sure. But it's really hard to take OU.
Dude, are they? I mean, they're starting the scrambler, you know, the guy that just kind of zips around. Like I don't think that beats Texas.
Yeah, and I think their top 5 wide receivers are all listed as out for this game. It's just, I don't know, man. The Venables era might not be super long. I'll say that.
Some people are just made to be coordinators, man, and they're really good at that. But I don't blame you for taking the head coaching job at Oklahoma. But at the end of the day, you're a really good fucking DC. Will Muschamp, really good DC in his time. You know, Tom Herman, really good OC. Like some people are just really good coordinators. Dave Aranda, you're a really good DC, dude. You're just, you know, give it a shot. It's not going to work. Yeah, I agree. I don't think Venables is working out, but
Bo Pelini,
great DC for a period, for one menstrual cycle. And anyway, let's go back to the screen. Yeah, I don't see this.
I think I don't know that we have to spend time on it. I think, you know, Grant may have a different opinion, but I think you and I are both fully in the camp of USC. Yeah, I mean,
Penn State minus 3.5. Yeah, I would take the points with USC here. Look, I'm shitting all over Penn State. I don't think that means it's an automatic like USC is going to win the game. Right. I think I would take the points there. I think Penn State does suck, but I think USC also sucks. Like I'm starting to get into that boat of like those teams are pretty similar. We just kind of fucked up in week 1. So
if Penn State had a longer runway and they didn't have to bus an hour to get on a flight, I think I would bet Penn State. But like,
and I don't do that. I don't trust Franklin figuring out the logistics of playing on the West Coast.
Like I'd be getting the guys up way too early.
He's gonna be like Mike did for the pod tonight.
He's gonna try too much. He's gonna overthink this and be like, oh, no, we need to wake up at this time.
We're staying on East Coast time throughout the weekend, boys.
Right. Yeah, and then he'll like the buses will be late for the game or something. Like something is gonna happen because of him. And I think that's going to be some of the difference.
He gets up in the team meeting and he's like, do not reset your watches to cross time zone. And all these dudes are like, we have fucking iPhones.
I had a podcast with Key and Peele. Like, there's just something stupid's going to happen. So I got to take USC here.
Yeah, I'll take USC just as a yeah. I mean, I've been as big a anti Franklin and Penn State guy as there's been, and that hurts. I wouldn't mind rooting for Penn
I
State.
would
You know,
love for
it's
Penn
like
State to be good.
I just yeah, I can't.
Give me a
Franklin
reason.
drives me fucking crazy.
Give me a reason other than our buddy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it.
Just give me more reason.
And they're an
love
old traditional power. I love the Blue Bloods. I think Penn State will be tight to have good again. It's one of those teams that, but like, I want them to be cool. I don't want it to just be like, I don't know. Like they're
This
just
game
not
also does
cool.
nothing for me. Like you just have to show up against Ohio State. Like if you can show me that you can actually like play with Ohio State and potentially win that game, I will eat all. You know, I'm not gonna eat dog shit like some people,
Mhm.
but like I will eat my words and
Stick a
tell
burrito
you-
in my butt. All right. All right,
That's
No one's
man.
no one's asking for that, bro. It's K State. Y'all are gonna be in the Alamo Bowl. Like it's okay.
I want it.
But like and it's just Penn State can do nothing. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing they can do to change my mind until they show up against an Ohio State.
Yeah, Ohio State's really good. All right,
I
move
love
on.
Stanford. Stanford plus 22.5 might be like my favorite bet of the year. Like I'm being honest. Like this game is just gonna be. It's just there's no way that
Yeah.
Notre Dame just takes care of business, wins by 31, plays the fight song, and we don't even think about them.
And I don't even need to research Stanford. I don't need to research. Like for all I know, they could have their fucking third string quarterback, but I'm still like, yeah, it's just
I
that
don't
time of
need it.
year. It's
Yeah.
just that time of year.
Yeah, it's just one. It's just that's how it's gonna be. There's no doubt.
All right.
It really does hurt me. I don't care about Cal Pitt. I don't like.
Cal should have won that game. They should actually be rocking and rolling, but no, they.
Cal Pitt's
well,
like a
yeah.
week 0 game that I'm like, fuck yeah.
If this game
Well,
was
Cal
on
would have
Friday
won.
night,
Yeah.
Yeah,
if this game was on Friday night, like sign me the fuck up for it. But like being in this window, like sure, if it's close, I'll flip it over. But it really pains me. I don't think Grant scrolled far enough, but it really pains me that Florida at Tennessee is a game that like no one cares about.
It sucks. It's one of those, and it's been like that for a little while now, where like every time it pops up, I'm just like, this used to be the game, dude. The colors, like it was always in the afternoon. It wasn't always a night game. It was a very like staple CBS 2:30. And I guess, I mean, Tennessee still has a lot to play for, and Florida's, playing for their coach, whatever. There's still stories there, but no, it like that should be, that is a number 4 versus number 10 type of game back in the day.
If that was on the same level of Ole Miss LSU, like what an incredible evening of Florida, Tennessee, Ohio State, Oregon, and Ole Miss.
It'd be too
LSU.
much. It'd be too much. I'd like to stagger it out, like no duplicate windows.
We really gotta get this Oregon game pushed at least an hour, like starting 6:30.
It's such a big
time.
game. Why would
It's
you have it with
disgusting.
everybody else?
Even if it was 7:15, a 45
And like you're saying,
minute buffer.
dude, you're almost in Alaska, bro. Like push us back a little bit. Like we'll stay up.
No
Like
shit.
we stay up for Hawaii games, dude. Give me an Oregon Ohio State at 8:30.
Yep. And
My
then,
time?
but instead, we're gonna have to suck it up and watch Colorado K State.
Don't hate on Colorado, man. That's
No,
the
I would
generation.
never. But I mean, we're all gonna be watching that game.
So
yeah,
let's
it's actually going to be an interesting game.
hold on. Let's go back for a second.
Yeah. Sorry, I just jumped ahead because I'm so upset that this Oregon game is not.
Do we have
an
anything
hour.
before that?
The 2:30 slate.
Not really, huh? No.
No.
Okay.
I mean,
So
Cal
No, it's
would
the
be
Cal
only other
Pitt.
game.
sorry. Yeah. Keep
No,
going.
the USC game is at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We already
And
covered
Oklahoma.
that though.
All right, so we're good. So let's talk about the big boy, right? Ohio State, Oregon. I think Ohio State is really, really good. I'm buying that juice. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. Texas and Ohio State, in my opinion, are the top 2, obviously. But this is one of those spots where, like, I can see looking back on this season and being like, dude, remember when Oregon knocked off Ohio State? Who would have thought that Ohio State would end up winning the national championship? Like I think this is the game that they get sniped. And I think Oregon is that perfect team to do it, where now they're going to be back in the conversation, and then they're going to stumble later on in the season to someone they shouldn't, and then we're going to be like something in the Big Ten is going to go awry. But I think this is the week. I don't know. I'm saying a lot of words to basically say I like Oregon here.
I'm with you. I think Ohio State is really good. Shout out Urban Meyer, said it's the best roster that's ever been assembled.
Right. I think that's my point. I like Oregon to win, but like that doesn't mean I still think Ohio State's like one of, if not the best team.
But like in Oregon, literally every time I flipped over and watched an Oregon game, big or not, they have not looked very impressive. Yeah. And it just makes me want to take Oregon because it's like this. That's how this game feels. Of like, well, of like obviously I would bet Ohio State. Like Ohio State just hasn't really been tested. And like I said, Oregon, there's so much potential at Oregon, and it feels like they haven't really connected the dots yet. A home game, kind of a pretty huge atmosphere for them. It feels like they're just going to come out and play their best game of the season.
If this is at Ohio State, I'm taking Ohio State
for sure
10 out of 10 times.
Agreed.
But there's something about being on the road at Oregon with people starting, myself included, to kind of doubt Oregon and be like, they were way too overhyped going into this year. This is where they're kind of like, no, this is the 2024 Oregon, where it might not sustain, but like this is their big game, where Ohio State has more. Like this is honestly though, like Ohio State needs this, but they also have some second chances to redeem themselves, and they have the benefit of being who they are. Where I don't think this will lose.
They're still going to be ahead of LSU. They're going to be 8. Yeah, you know, it's like they're still right in the mix for everything. But yeah, I'm with you. It just everything in me says that like Oregon's going to come out and just play sick and be like, this is what we thought Oregon was going to be. Dillon Gabriel,
Evan Stewart, Heisman. So yeah, I think it's going to be a hell of a game though. I think it will be one of those games. I don't think you're going to see the best version of Ohio State. I could be wrong. Ohio State could come out and fucking stomp them. We don't know. Yeah. But obviously we're making picks here. I think this is a game that Oregon plays up for. They're very inconsistent, but when they are good, they're one of the best teams. And so I think I would bet on you seeing the best version of Oregon this week. Keep going. Grant, are you getting any picks in, bro, or what?
I'd bet the over in that game also.
Yeah, 54 is low. I just haven't had haven't put my picks in.
All right, let's keep on rolling.
Well, then I think that's pretty much it.
Well, you got Heisman Trophy winner playing at 10 o'clock.
Is that really all the games?
That's all the ranked games.
That's all top 25 games.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me see if there's any.
What is the spread on Tennessee, Florida?
15.
And it's at Tennessee?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I like Tennessee there.
I'm scrolling through all games, not just ranked. I'm not seeing anything that really jumps out. Cincinnati, UCF.
Basically, since you and Brett picked everything together, I've just been picking against
Fade boy. I love it. Smart man.
Have we had the same picks? Yeah, I guess we have.
I haven't heard you and Brett really disagree, so I'm just
shit.
Didn't you take OU?
No,
Texas. We're both shit. Before the pod started, you said you liked OU.
I like the over.
Okay. Vanderbilt at Kentucky, a game you might have to keep an eye on.
Vandy, Kentucky is a game you have to keep an eye on. That's a weird spread. They got Kentucky favored by
13.5. I mean, dude, I think I would be more impressed with Vanderbilt if they came out and like played really well this week than I was with them beating Bama. Like, how can you fucking show up and roll into Kentucky after the week that you've had? That seems difficult.
It is. It is going to be difficult. Stoops is made for this game.
I mean, there's just no way Skip Bayless is going to be dripping wet with sweat again. Like, you just don't have that factor.
This could be the end of Utah this week.
Uh-oh.
What was that?
Utah is just so out of sight, out of mind to me. Like,
hey, one time's fine, but brother, what are we?
In all my rooting life,
my bad, I ruined that.
You got to start it over. You got to start it over. We'll be quiet.
I am dripping wet with sweat.
I've listened to that no less than 150 times, just starting it over at the 5-second mark endlessly, and it makes me giggle every fucking time. The way, oh, there it went. We're all right. We're almost done.
I'm just wondering how many times he did that.
I am dripping wet with sweat.
Yeah, he's like, that's the one I'm going to post. Or is he the type of guy that's just like, I'm so used to this that like it's one take and I fire?
I'm a
this shit.
pro's pro. I want to say one take, but because there's so many times where like that one time where he couldn't get the trash can to open correctly to throw Dak's jersey in the trash makes me think he's a true professional, and it's totally raw, uncut. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Bill, shout out Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah, Utah's weird. Do they have old boy? Like that dude is just, he's Chris Hilton. He's just chronically hurt.
I just don't think about Utah at all. Like
they're a good team when they have Rising. I forget. I keep wanting to say Riley.
Cam Rising.
Cam Rising. He's a good quarterback. That dude can't stay healthy at all. But when he is healthy, that's a top 10 team. I don't think he's back yet. Isn't Arizona State starting to cook a little bit?
They're cooking supper.
Looks like it.
Yeah, so this could be the end of Utah. But don't the conference champions get an automatic bid? An automatic
champions get the bye.
Yeah, so a Big 12, right? Isn't Utah in the Big 12?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it like doesn't even matter. That's what sucks.
That's why everyone had Utah in the playoff before the season.
Yeah, they're the only team in the Big 12.
Also, we are just smack dab in the middle of the entire world just completely forgetting that Clemson exists. And then they're just going to be right there in the playoff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Clemson's a playoff team.
Because the ACC,
Miami and Clemson, yeah.
Because the ACC is going to get 2 teams in at this rate. I mean,
they don't play Miami. Their biggest.
Do they have a conference championship game? Would they play each other in a conference?
I don't think they do anymore. I think it's like at the top 2 in the ACC, right? Or
you could be right with that, but I would still assume it would be Miami and Clemson.
Yeah, it's going to be the top 2. They're going to have the number 1, the ACC, which right now would be, obviously Miami, and then Clemson would still be a top 12 team. And so I guess they would just have to make the top 7 or 8, whatever it is.
It may not matter, but I'm still just not in the camp. I mean, shit, they almost lost to Cal. Like, I'm just still not in the camp of Miami, just business as usual, just going to be winning every game.
Go to their schedule.
Yeah, I don't know their schedule off the top,
Clemson?
but it's just I think like they can't. No, Miami.
No, Miami. I feel like that was.
I think they're all.
I feel like the Cal game was it. I feel like that was the one where it's like, yeah, of course.
I know, but like,
I get it.
Of all teams to be undefeated, do we really think it's going to be Miami?
What they got left, Grant? What they got left?
Nothing.
Louisville.
Yeah, they got nothing. Syracuse is probably the hardest game.
Kyle McCord, you don't just walk into the Carrier Dome and walk out with victory, Mike.
No, I guess they played. Yeah, Louisville stuff, whatever. Haynes King, Georgia Tech, whatever. Yeah, I mean, a normal Miami team for sure. This is not. They're not going to go unscathed.
I mean, they've almost lost the last 2 weeks.
I know, but they find a way to win. They look pretty good, and they don't have a hard schedule. I'm just saying, dude. Miami's going to be in the playoffs.
Even with here's the other thing. Even with one loss to any of these teams, I feel like they're in the playoffs at this rate.
Yes, but you can't be a one-loss team and then lose to Clemson. I think they're out at that point.
What if Cristobal makes the playoffs and Oregon doesn't?
Damn it! What if we get Oregon, Miami, and then you get Notre Dame, LSU? Like, come on now.
Yeah,
it's just the 2 top teams in the ACC. Shit, SMU could
get out.
SMU beat Louisville last week.
Yeah, that's when we start straying away. We're talking these fucking bottom.
So here's the other thing: you can't sit here and tell me that all of this chaos this year. It's obvious that it's the NIL that's playing a part in it. Like, teams are getting players that they wouldn't have normally gotten.
I think there's a component, I think they're
The
I think
competitive edge is getting the gap is closing. Yeah, obviously, there's there's power conferences and better teams, but the gap is closing. So those close games are now turning into upsets.
well, that and it's the exit of Nick Saban. I know that's a huge part of it. You don't just have Alabama just fucking dropping nuts on everybody, and everybody else is playing for like 2 through 10. Like there is no guaranteed
Since
number
when
one.
was Georgia on the ropes against Kentucky early in the season? Like there's just games that
No, NIL has a huge. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think that it's taking the teams longer to figure out who they are and gel with each other and play. I don't know. Like I feel like even LSU, they're still like not settled on a lineup. You know what I mean? And so yeah, NIL plays a big factor in that. And so you're going to start seeing teams get better as the season comes to an end. That's why I feel like we're gonna see like a crazy different poll from like now to right before the playoffs. You're going to be like, damn, that team came out of nowhere. Or
shit.
I mean, we're obviously calling it now, but like a Clemson where they get their ass kicked
Kansas.
week 1 by Georgia, and it's like, oh, they're number 4. They have a bye. It's like, where the fuck did that come from?
I'm with you.
Dang.
All,
So here's the
most
Big
teams in the
12.
country have already given up their buffer. Like their little
Yeah, yeah.
replay token is already gone.
Dude, I know, like, yeah, I guess Utah's in, but like, shit, I don't think the Big 12 gets 2 teams in, and like, if some of these teams finish out,
That's where LSU's game against Ole Miss this week is so big. It's like everybody's like you said, dude, they've already showed their cards. Like people are taking their shots.
Dude,
And now if you can pull out a big victory against the current perceived like top 6 team, whatever the case may be, you could immediately be a top 6 team. Like it's like you're going to jump a lot of people if you win against Ole Miss.
Yeah,
Indiana.
But yeah, the Big 12's getting one because they're going to look at K-State's resume or BYU's resume against, I don't know, the Tennessee or Ole Miss or LSU, whatever it may be. And they're like, well, obviously, we're just going to take the SEC team here.
Yeah. Or a Penn State team.
Penn State, go to their schedule.
I think it's like Ohio State, and then it's just a bunch of like Michigan State bullshit. Like, I don't think they play Oregon.
But that's like when it starts getting really cold, that's when fucking
Washington
starts losing to some bullshits like
but it's at home.
Michigan State.
They play at Flex State.
Row the boat.
Now listen, dude, if they run the table, I deserve to be wrong. I deserve to eat crow, whatever.
I'm with you. Eat dog poop.
I'll shove a chinchilla
No.
up my nose.
I'm not letting anyone clip that.
But
I'm just going to talk over you.
you have to wear a plug.
Don't mind me. Yeah. So bet. Yeah, I guess that's it, dude. Good week of ball coming up.
I don't have much else. It would be nice to see A&M just fall from grace. That'd make me happy. Look at all those rankings in the SEC.
Yeah.
Getting my absentee ballot mailed over.
Who are you voting for?
No, I'm just getting my absentee ballot. That's what we're ending with.
I haven't decided. Mike's an undecided voter of New Jersey.
He's got to see some more debates.
Dude,
Northern Master debater is.
Northern Lights were out tonight. Pretty fun. Pretty tight.
Oh, you smoke?
Northern Lights, the
cannabis indica.
the sky.
Sky. Yeah, I'm sure you're in the sky.
Indica flower.
Check out this guy.
Anywho. All right. Well,
we have the Southern Lights, Mike, down here. So
smash that subscribe button.
Over and out.